The term fraud refers to someone who doesn't live up to the expectations set by author or the story. In the span of Kagurabachi's 3-year run, we've been introduced to many great and amazing characters, but at the same time, we've seen some of the most dumb and useless ones as well. And I'm talking about you, Kazane. Oh, my homies hate Kazane. So let me break down some of the characters who have truly earned themselves the title of a fraud. Kazane. Kazane is the worst character in the manga. Okay, before jumping to conclusions, let me explain why. The first time we see Kazane is not when the anti-Cloud Gouger squad pulls up on Sojo for the first time, because Kazane wasn't even there. What was he doing then? Buying sweets? Okay, I need some gummies. Do you have them like decayed cats? Don't mind my phone, it's from my job, they can wait. Wait, did somebody get hit by lightning? Yeah, whatever. Aren't you gonna check out on them? No, not really. After Chihiro's fight with Sojo, the anti-Cloud Gouger squad appears to question him, and Kazane is finally there, and he's so annoying. Like the moment we see him, we know that he is not happy to be there. Dude, find another job if you don't like this one. His whole personality is just being annoying as hell. Kazane is a pure hater. When Chihiro asks to join the squad's operation, Kazane immediately starts acting like a jerk. Keep in mind, Kazane just joined the squad himself, but he's acting like he's been there for years. He's still green. You cannot find a single panel of Kazane being happy. Every single panel of him is just him being miserable. When Chihiro explains Cloud Gouger's abilities, Kazane just sits there hating on him. Dude, he's literally coming up with a perfect strategy for your team and you're just being a hater. Kazane participates in the fight against Sojo. Even though participates is a very strong word, because Kazane never does anything useful in this fight. That's because his sorcery, Kaiichi, was supposed to be their wild card in case they started losing. And when it's finally time to use it, Kazane gets speed blitzed by Sojo and everyone except him and Ikuto dies because of it. Useless, annoying, bum. Kazane survives the fight and the only thing he does in this story is snitching on Chihiro to the Kaminabi. He thinks that the enchanted blades should not exist, and to be fair, he does have a point. But we never see Kazane appear again. Well, I think it is very likely that Kazane may return in the future. Maybe he's gonna become a part of a faction who also thinks that the enchanted blade should not exist in our world. But let's be for real, what is Kazane even gonna do? As of right now, this plot didn't really go anywhere, so I think it's safe to assume that Kazane is a fraud. Our next hero is Kasen, the leader of the Kaminabi. Kasen is my least favorite character in the whole of Kagurabachi, and let me explain why. In the first two arcs of Kagurabachi, Kasen doesn't really do much. He dispatches Hiyuki after Chihiro, beats for Shinuchi in the Rakuzaichi, and ignores the fact that the Rakuzaichi is a hive of low-life thugs trafficking human beings. And don't tell me that he did that because attacking the Rakuzaichi would cause major losses for the Kaminabi. 99% of the people present there were useless bums. Mr. Inazuma would be enough to take most of them. It literally took two people to end the Rakuzaichi, Chihiro and Hiyuki. Kasen is just stupid and lazy. Then Kasen appears in the Kaminabi raid arc, and it turns out that that old bum is actually a traitor. Kasen reveals to us that he was actually working with the Hishaku, probably since the Rakuzaichi, and everything that happened afterward was planned. Asami stated that Kasen is one of the most powerful sorcerers in the Kaminabi. Asami may be better as a fighter, but in terms of sorcery, people like Kasen are giants compared to him. Kasen is supposed to have twice as much wisdom as the entire library on level 2 of Kaminabi. So where is this wisdom and knowledge, Kasen? Because after revealing his cards to our heroes, we expect him to choose his next move wisely. And this old fart decides to attack Hakuri, probably the weakest person in the room, and gets one-shotted by Asami before he can even do anything. Where is your wisdom, Kasen? Where is your powerful sorcery? Now let's break down Kasen's plan. The plan was to use the enchanted blades to establish order and bring the clans under the Kaminabi's wing. And that plan makes sense, right? But why of all people would he decide to collude with the Hishaku?
He could only have gotten that idea from Benjamin Netanyahu.
To use Shinichi, you need to kill the Sword Master and assign a new bearer. Yes, it is that simple. But what does Kasen decide to do instead? He betrays Kamunabi, plots with the Hishaku, gets a ton of people injured or killed, and lets Yura use the Shinichi. Yura, the exact same person who was sponsoring the Rakuzaichi and is responsible for countless murders. Think, Kasen, think! Is that what you wanted? Every single life lost in the Kamunabi raid is Kasen's fault to some extent. Now I get why Kasen decided to collude with Yura and the Hishaku. Because Kasen can't do shit by himself. After getting one-shotted by Azami, Kasen just slays in the exact same spot for almost 20 chapters and never does anything. As for Kasen's future, it's not very bright. I see Kasen appearing again, but I don't see him having any major role in the story, or any role at all at this point. Kasen is gonna be in the future, but all he's gonna be is just being Akimura's goon. I don't see Kasen doing anything useful ever again. Not that he did anything useful before, but I just think he's gonna be a background character. He's just gonna appear whenever we see Akimura and Evil Kaminabi, and that's it. Honestly, I didn't even have to bring up all of this because everybody hates Kasen and nobody's gonna defend him. Me not liking Kasen is enough for me to call him an old, stupid, weak ass bum. Okay, so before we continue, there's a little announcement. I got my first ever strike on the channel. My chapter 126 review is down and there's nothing I can really do about it, so I guess I just gotta be more careful next time. Yojiro Sangoku. Now let's discuss the star of the show. The last person on this list and the one who deserves the title of fraud the most is Yojiro Sengoku. Sengoku is a manager of the Kyoto Bloodshed Hotel. Ever since his first appearance in chapter 65, Sengoku was portrayed as somebody skilled and strong. He served as a manager of the hotel for years. He was a master of the Reigen one-sword style, a style passed down for over a century, and he trained over 50 disciples in his lifetime. So far, Sengoku looks like a really skilled and formidable opponent, right? Oh, I'm already so excited to see Sengoku's first fight. His opponent must be so unlucky. When Hirohiko and Toro pull up and use sorcery, which is strictly prohibited by hotel rules, Sengoku decides to school them. He attacks Hirohiko, who blocks his strike while noting that Sengoku is heavy. They continue to clash and Hirohiko dodges Sengoku's attack and cuts his arm off, yet Sengoku seems to be unfazed by that. He must have something else up his sleeve, right? Hirohiko just got lucky, he just caught him off guard. No, he didn't. Sengoku dies before he can land a single blow on Hirohiko. Hirohiko, the guy infamous for losing every single fight he participates in. And Sengoku, the master of the something sword style, loses to that guy. Hirohiko didn't even use his sorcery, he didn't even use an enchanted blade, and he isn't even good with a sword. Hirohiko never learned swordsmanship. He's literally just swinging the blade back and forth, and the master of an elite sword style passed down for over 150 years loses to that guy. Imagine your biggest feat is being heavy. Sangoku is a waste of a character. He shouldn't have even existed in the first place. Okay, so as for the future of Sengoku, let's not talk about that, please. Sengoku revival is not happening. My conclusion is that Yojiro Sengoku is the literal definition of a fraud. His name should appear next to it in the dictionary. The words Sengoku and Bam should be interchangeable. So that is the end of part 1. Let me know what do you think about these characters. Are they all just bums or do you think they do not deserve the slander they get? Also, let me know what other characters should I cover next. Like and subscribe and see you next time.